Okay.
Okay.
So I guess we could just about start.
So if you guys are at one place, you guys probably are hearing double of us on.
No, once they enter Gather Town, it's mute. Once they enter the Zoom call, the Gather is muted for them.
Oh, awesome. Ah,
Yeah.
that's true. It's just you and I that hear the double. Okay, awesome. All right.
And
Do you want to wait more?
so this is a good question. Are you allowed to interrupt? This is more free form than usual, so we would like it if you're on Zoom. If you could raise your hand, we'll pick on you. But if you're noticing that we're not picking on you, you can simply interrupt us.
Mm. Oh, Shweta said she can hear us double as well.
Okay. One thing you can do is if you're on Zoom, you can close your Gather Town temporarily and then rejoin afterwards.
Yeah, do need to remember to rejoin though, because the rest of the hacking events are gonna happen on Gather Town, as we'll explain a little bit more on what Gather Town is later on.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like people are getting settled into their seats. It looks like the number of people that are trickling in has stagnated. So I guess we could start.
Perfect. Let's start then. So hi everyone. We're so excited to have you here. Some are familiar faces from our mingling session yesterday, so welcome. And some are also familiar faces from our 8-week workshop series, so welcome again. And if we don't know you, we haven't talked to you yet, we are very excited to talk to you later on, especially if you have any questions or need any help for team formation as well. So we're McMed Hacks. We are from McGill University in Montreal, Quebec in Canada. And the theme of our hackathon today is medical imaging applications using deep learning. And we're from the McGill Medical Physics Unit from Dr. Shane Enger's lab at the Jewish General Hospital Lady Davis Institute. If this is your first hackathon, we hope this will be an exciting experience for you. This is absolutely beginner friendly. And if this is not your first hackathon, absolutely welcome. We're so excited for you to join us and hope you have fun. Yeah, so let's move on.
All right. So I think first order of business is Gather Town. As a lot of you are experiencing right now, Gather Town is a fun little place where you can kind of walk around and get close to people. Usually based on proximity, you'll be able to hear them. Like I'm able to hear Sagarika, Nicole, and the third person just left. But based on where you are in the room, you can hear people. We do seem to be experiencing some technical difficulties. If you're stuck in the doorway, you can press on your name and hit respawn, and you will respawn in the middle of the room. That's okay. We're fixing the space as we go, but GatherTown is going to be a fun little place for you to sort of mingle and form teams, and to maybe even stay with your team later on as you're working on your projects. So we hope that you have fun with it. We've created plenty of rooms for you, from game rooms to work rooms. There's also going to be a designated help desk in GatherTown where you can come and get help. We have created a small little mini map for you. There's one room, this main room, that joins all the other spaces. We're currently in the conference room, which is located on the right here. So if you were to go through these two doors on the right, you'd be in the conference room. If you go to the left, you would be in the game room or lounge, the same room. And this area on the left here is going to be where the help desk can be found. We highly encourage you to just explore throughout the next 48 hours and get familiar with the room. We'll create private rooms for you as well where you can work with your team. And we hope that you have fun with it.
So just another point with the rooms, currently you're in the conference room and you're not you're not able to actually go to other rooms right now because this is done intentionally. We want to gather everyone just in the conference room, so as a first meeting, so you're able to hear us. But after this point, we're going to have, after the opening ceremony, we're going to have a challenge review and tell you about what the challenge's details are. And after that point, you're going to be able to access the rest of the rooms on this mini map, such as the help desk, the game room, the beach room, the park, the beach, and there's even ocean. So yeah, that's where
Okay.
we're at.
Yeah, one more useful feature about GatherTown. If you press X, it interacts with an item. If you press X while you're in the room here, you'll join the Zoom call. And if you're ever stuck, because a player is blocking you, you can press G to phase through them, like
It'll
this.
be, yeah, so you press G and the direction up, down, left, right at the same time in order to go across
Yeah.
them. And in order to enter a private room, and if you want to enter like a specific game, you press X.
Okay.
You'll get there.
Yep. So let's move on to today's the topic of this presentation. We're going to introduce a little bit of about what the MedHacks Hackathon is about, introduce who we are, tell you a little bit about who else is signed up, introduce our sponsors, and then get to our program. So what you can expect over the next 48 hours.
Yes. So now a little bit of introduction. So who are we? We're the MedHacks. Before this point, there had been a 8-week-long workshop series / presentation series program about medical imaging analysis and deep learning. If you weren't actually a part of us, it's absolutely fine. We're going to share all the materials that we have given to our workshop participants to all of you as well, including all the recordings. So I know you probably don't have time to go through all of it now, but we're going to point you to the important stuff that's going to be useful for this specific hackathon from that shared Google Drive folder that we're going to give to you. So ultimately, this hackathon is the sequel of that workshop series that we gave and the ultimate event of the series, and an opportunity for you to show off your skills. A lot of you came already with a lot of skills already, but some of you are also beginners, which is very exciting as well. We all start from somewhere. Luca and I were both hackathon attendees with very little experience when we were a few years ago. So this is a great start for you as well. So please don't worry if you feel like you're on the beginner side. And we're going to share all the adequate materials with you as well.
Yep. So a little bit about MedHacks. What we aim to do is sort of to bridge the domains between deep learning and medicine, especially combining deep learning with clinical knowledge to create new applications that will increase the accuracy and quality of patient care. And deep learning is just a field that has been absolutely exploding in recent years and has really revolutionized the way we can do image analysis. And if we combine that with clinical knowledge and use it on medical images, we can make something that can really help people. And that's the inspiration behind MedHacks, and that's hopefully why you're all here today.
Absolutely. And during our workshop series, there's a lot of presentations that can be served as inspirations for applications of deep learning in clinical settings. So when you're doing your project, you can also keep this clinical aspect and what's the impact it's going to have in mind when you're doing your project as well. Yeah, so we can move on to the next slide.
Yep. I wasn't sure, but I may have heard somebody's noise in the background. Make sure you're muted if you're not asking a question. Thank you. So in terms of things to do, we were considering calling the slides things to have done because we sent an email about this already. we'd like it if you could please register on DevPost, because that is where submissions will be made. That is where you will also create a team when you make the submission. So everyone on your team should have a DevPost account. Um, you should join our Discord. That's a place where you can meet people, you can form teams, and you can ask questions. And then if you go to our DevPost page, you're going to find a whole bunch of details. So if you have any questions about the event, odds are they're answered on the DevPost.
Yes. So we could click on the dev post right now and take a look at things. If you, we're going to cover about the challenges and so on, the details of the challenges, how the judging is going to work, how the submissions are going to work in the later slides. But if you look at it here, everything is already here. So if you scroll down, the details of each prizes, the details of each judging criteria and judges and sponsors are right. The requirements is an important one because you're going to be, you need to have submitted things under the requirements in order to be considered in the final judging. And then the judging criteria are how the judges are going to rate your performance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so going back to the presentation. Next, we will tell you a little bit about our team. There is us, and I think we'll just do introductions. My name is Luca. I'm a undergraduate at McGill University in Canada, and I study physics. I'm going to my final year, and I've been doing research in medical image analysis with Dr. Shireen Enger from the medical physics department at McGill for 3 years now. My work is mostly centered around medical image segmentation.
Yeah, so my name is Yu Zheng, and I am a medical physics master student at McGill, also in Dr. Shireen Enger's lab at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. So Lucas, my colleague in the same lab. And I also did my undergrad at McGill in the joint major of physiology and mathematics and a minor in physics. And I have been working also as an undergrad in the medical physics department for 3 years before I joined the master's program. And I was working on deep learning and segmentation, radiomics related topics. So a very exciting field. And our colleague here, Marie Bouvard, she is the mastermind behind the Gather Town scene. So all you see, the ocean, the desks, the private spaces, those are all decorated by her. So kudos to her. And when you do see her, do thank her and show your appreciation and tell her how much fun you're having. Yeah.
Yep. And other than that, we have a great hackathon leader team. We have coordinators such as Milosh and Zachary, who you'll see walking around Gather Town in the next 48 hours as well. You can always approach them if you have any questions. Sashin is another coordinator who is very much in charge of reaching out to all of you. If you've received any communications about the hackathon, it's most likely from Sashin. Other than that, we have
Yeah.
yeah, go for it, Eugene.
Yeah, and now we have my dear colleague Hossein, who's also in the Master's Medical Physics program in Dr. Schringer's lab, and he was responsible for reaching out to all the mentors that you're going to be meeting with during the next 48 hours. And then we have Juan, who just graduated from McGill Physics program with a minor in entrepreneurship, and he is responsible for the sponsorships that we get for our program. And last but not the least, our supervisor, Dr. Shireen Enger, is here on the right side. She's an associate professor in medical physics at McGill. We all work at the Jewish General Hospital at Lady Davis Institute. And yeah, so you're going to see her on the judging day as well.
Yep. If you have any questions about any of the things we're saying, please do raise your hand or write us a message. We're monitoring. So if during the hackathon you need help or you have any questions, these are sort of the things you should do in the order of the way you should do them. First of all, if you can, just ask your team if you have a question that could be answered on Stack Overflow. Um, Next, we have a Discord channel with plenty of a Discord server with plenty of channels for several questions. Just pick a channel that you think is a good category for your question, post it there. We're monitoring the Discord at all times. I guess I'll just pull that up to show you if you're not in it already. Um, and again, if you don't yet have a team, I highly recommend that you introduce yourself in the
In
meet
bridge.
and greet, for example. So you see if you had a question about any specific challenge, you could ask it in one of the challenge uh, text channels. And then if you have general questions, you can ask it in the general questions channel. Finally, we also have the help desk. We will always have mentors and ourselves who are there to help you with anything you may need help with. So come see us. That's in the central room on GatherTown.
Yeah, so we have 6 wonderful mentors who are going to introduce, and we're going to introduce them during the walking around time, and they're going to be available in their time slots. And Luca and I are most likely available all the time, except when we're sleeping, possibly
All right.
if we do sleep.
So
Yes. So who are you, right? So this is the makeup of you guys. Very wonderfully, we have more than 200 participants that were accepted to our hackathon, and you guys are spread all over the world, which is why we have different time zones, and not all of you guys might be able to attend right now, but for those of you who are able to attend right now, thank you very much. And the education level of all of you are spread mostly undergrads, and some MDs and some master students and some PhDs as well. Yeah.
and you come from a variety of backgrounds, mostly related to computer science, which makes sense, but we're seeing a lot of biology and medical aspects mixed in here as well, which is really, really great.
Yes.
Um,
That also brings to another point when you're trying to find teammates, because our problem is pretty multidisciplinary. So you might want to look for teammates that you just click with, or from different, if you're studying different things, it might actually be an advantage. So just keep those things in mind. We have many people from different fields here, so it's towards your advantage. Yeah.
And I see Vasilios, I hope I said that correctly, is asking about the judging criteria, and we will get to that. There's a slide for that
Yes,
coming up.
absolutely. Thank you for your question.
Okay, so next, a word about our sponsors. We have several sponsors that made this event possible. There's WestGrid, Calcul Quebec, and Compute Canada, which are largely responsible for the computational resources that we have available during this hackathon. There are some compute clusters available for you with GPUs. So we're very grateful to those sponsors for providing them. We are, of course, also grateful to our host institution, McGill, and our medical physics department, as well as our own group, which is Enger Lab. And then our other sponsors who are providing us with the monetary support to host this hackathon: TransMedTech, the Jewish General Hospital, Comp, and Avado. GatherTown for this platform, which is usually has a premium associated with it, but GatherTown was kind enough to give us a license so that we can host this hackathon here. And then Alpha Tau, who is the sponsor of our grand challenge. And the challenges are already visible on the dev post, but we will have another presentation where we explain what each challenge means and how much money is associated with everyone and how to approach the grand challenge. That's happening at 12, no, at 11. So in half an hour.
Yeah, right after this presentation. So a little bit about the schedule. We have already posted the hacker timeline as well as the detailed schedule on our homepage website at www.mcmedhacks.com. You can see that first thing on the front page. So today, main thing for you to do is to join the dev post and Discord channel. And if you already have a team, you can already start hacking and after we introduce you to the challenges. But if you're still looking for a team, there's still an opportunity for you to find teammates. If you cannot find teammates, we're going to help you with that. And that leads to the second point, team formation. Once you have found a team, you absolutely need to fill out a form that we already sent you this form that indicates all of your team's team names. But remember that only one person in your team is going to submit this form. So this is going to determine your team number, which is related to judging. So that's the team number that we're going to give our judges. And Luca, maybe you could click on the form, or you can check our emails. Just please do check our emails more or less frequently, because we do send updates there. Oh,
so the form is very simple. You have your email address, the team name, which you can decide, and then you can enter the team members. We want 3 to 4 team members. If you'd like more or less team members than that, please consult us first at the help desk, and we will give you permission for that. But enter the names of your 3 to 4 members, and if you already have an idea about what you'll do at the hackathon, you can put that down here as well, but that's not mandatory. And once that's complete, you can go to our hackathon page, and at the bottom of that page, you'll actually see a team number associated with every team. And again, that team number is important for judging, and that team number is important for computational resources as well. So just keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. And then hacking begins. Yeah, sorry. Hacking can begin or whenever you have finished having your project idea and after finish, team formation. And we're going to provide help with that as well. So that basically can start today if you feel like it. And then the presentation to the judging. So submission is going to happen first, and then the presentation to judges is going to happen next. More detail on the next slide.
Yep. So here's a bit of a more detailed timeline of what's about to happen. We're having our opening ceremony right now. After this, we'll present the challenges. Then there will be a designated time where you can still form teams. If you're having trouble getting in touch with people, come see us at the help desk. Latest around 4 p.m. If you don't yet have a team, come see us, and we'll make sure to get you in touch with people that are still looking for team members. Then at 2 p.m. we will have a little bit of a tutorial about the data resources that are available. So where you can find data sets. If you we have our very own data set for this challenge, but it's not mandatory to use that data set. So if you'd prefer to use another medical image data set, we'll have a tutorial on how to find and download those at 2 p.m. And then at 3 p.m. I will have a tutorial about how to use the computational resources that are available for this hackathon, including the Compute Canada cluster that is available with the GPUs. So come to that if you are interested in doing things on remote computational resources instead of locally. Then at 4, we'll have our first pitching session. And the purpose of the pitching session is twofold. One, it's a great opportunity for you to get some feedback on your project ideas. And two, if you're still looking for a team, you can either be listening to the pitching sessions or pitching your ideas and hoping that other people that are listening will want to team up with you. So do make use of that. All that's required of you is that you come with an idea. You don't need any sort of slides or anything. It's very free form. It'll happen in this in the room we're in right now, and you can just come up and present your idea in front of us. If you're not comfortable presenting your idea in front of everyone, you can also come to the help desk.
And by room we're currently in right now, we mean the room that we're currently in right now on GatherTown, which is the conference room. So by that time, you'll be able to actually move around the whole space. So you might be somewhere else when the pitching session is happening, but just we're probably gonna do an announcement and say that please come to the conference room if you're still looking for a project. If you're still looking for a project or a team, or if you still don't have a team but have an idea, please come to the conference room. You'll be able to hear other people's pitches and you'll be able to pitch your idea. So it's a two-way street. Same thing is going to happen on Saturday. So basically, if you already found your team by today or by any time today, you can already start hacking. But if you still haven't formalized your idea, and haven't found a team by Saturday, there's another pitching session happening tomorrow morning. And by 11 tomorrow, you should have a team and start the hacking. And then after that point, what we mean by assisted hacking is that it's related to the 8-week program that we just talked about. We had a lot of different topics weekly. If you go on our website, the McMedHacks website under program, you can see the content of all of our 8-week, what we have taught over the 8 weeks. Some of those things are going to be useful. And this is also the session where we're going to be helping you, directing you to the most important stuff that you might want to focus your attention on for your specific project in our shared Google Drive folder. And Sunday, so you're basically going to continue hacking on Saturday, tomorrow, the whole day. By Sunday, August 8th, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So please do the calculation correctly if you're in another time zone. So we're talking about 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time here, right? And the submission period will be 10 to 11 Eastern Daylight Time. And then you need to prepare for a presentation as well for the judging period. And I would say that presentation is extremely important for the judging period because your presentation is what the judges will see. And the judging criteria are largely based on your presentation as well. But obviously the technical execution is very important. We'll talk about the specific judging criteria in detail later on. So judging will happen between 12 to 2 Eastern Daylight Time again. So please do the calculation in your time zone. And then after the judging finishes, there will be an upvoted, you can upvote other people's prizes, other people's projects. So during submission, your project, you're going to submit your project on that post, and after submission, your project is going to appear on that post. And after judging, you're going to be able to vote for your favorite dev post project from other people's groups. And then after that point at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we'll announce the winners as well as each categorical winners as well as the honorable mentions. And then we'll say farewell afterwards.
Yeah. So again, another note about team formation, because that's what today is all about. If you find somebody that you'd like to team up with, fill out the Google form that we've linked on our dev post and we've sent you via email. It's in these slides again, which we'll share with you. It's the one I showed earlier where you just simply indicate your email address for one person from the team that's corresponding, team name, and then the names of your members. And as I've mentioned before, you'll see that the team number will appear on the website, mcmedhacks.com under Hackathon. So if you're still looking for a team by tonight, when the pitching session is happening, do make sure you come to this conference room and listen to people pitching. That's a great way to team up with people.
Perfect.
Okay.
And so after, based on the schedules that we just said, after you found the team, the hacking begins. After you formalize an idea, have a project, have a team, you're able to hack. Yeah. So like we said, we're going to provide you with the resources of the AV program material that we have. We haven't shared the Google Drive folder with you yet, but we will. And we are also going to have a tutorial on how to find data and how to basically open source medical data. They're not the easiest to find or direct you to the right resources. Should you not be using the alpha tau data set that we're going to present. And that is going to happen from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So yeah, and then compute resources, we'll do a tutorial on that right after the data resources as well. And Rama asked an excellent question. Where do you get the data set for the seed project? So we're going to have a challenge review presentation right after opening ceremony. And we're going to walk you through how to get that data set. And it'll most likely be happening during the compute resources tutorial. What do you guys, what do you think, Luca?
The data set is already available if you're feeling really eager, but I would recommend you wait until 11 when we kind of present what the data set is and how to interpret it and what the actual challenge is. But technically on DevPost, there is a link now to a OneDrive repository with the entire data set and some instructions on how to what to do with the data set. So if you are feeling eager or curious, you can check it out on DevPost under resources. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we get to the next point, which is submission. What's going to happen when you submit? Everything is submitted on DevPost. There will be a button when you go to our McMedHacks DevPost page that just says start a submission. You click on that, and then it will walk you through step by step what you need to submit. And we can talk a little bit about what that is. But if you have any trouble with it, you can ask either a mentor or us at the help desk or in the Discord channel. There's always going to be help. It should be self-explanatory though. But just to let you prep for this, we'll briefly discuss what you should be preparing as the submission deadline approaches. And just so you know, you can start your submission, I think, this afternoon it's opening, and then the deadline is Sunday. So if you want to start your submission and make sure you have everything already, please do so. But what you'll need to submit is an abstract. This does not have to be long, as an abstract always is brief, where you simply outline what was the objective of what you did. You can provide a little bit of background if you did some digging into what the problem is and why it's important. The methods, how you did it, some of the results you got. Of course, we're not expecting a full PhD thesis after 48 hours, but any preliminary results you have, and then any conclusions you can draw from those. And then you'll also be prompted to submit visual aids, which will really increase the appeal of your DevPost submission to, for example, the other participants as they're going through and upvoting. Make sure you submit any interesting figures and things like that. You can prepare animations if you want. We do make it optional for you to even submit your presentation on DevPost. There's more information about that is to come. But just read the prompts on DevPost if you when you start the submission. It should walk you through it. Yujing, do you want to do the point 3?
Absolutely. So upon submission, basically while you're submitting, there's going to be questions being prompted to you. It's going to ask you, what did you learn during the hackathon? What are the challenges that you faced? What are the accomplishments that you're the most proud of? These are things that we will take into consider for mostly for a lot of the automatically considered categories, such as the most innovative solution, Rising Star Award, and things like that. We'll go into the details of the different challenges later on. And point B is, what did you build your project with? What libraries did you use? What languages did you use? What packages did you use? That kind of technical stuff. And what you need to submit is any demos you want to show the judges in a zipped folder of your code. And again, we mentioned this before, the submission period will be on Sunday, August 8th from 10 to 11 Eastern Daylight Time, and submission deadline is at 11 that day, Sunday, 11 Eastern Daylight Time. Yeah. And if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us, either email or just grab us on GatherTown.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the judging period briefly. You'll receive a team number, and we'll give, when you register your team, there will be one email that you need to provide. So that's one point of contact for your team. We will email that person the exact time and place to appear in GatherTown. And then you can come there. You'll have a 5-minute time slot to present your project. And it's up to you how much of that time you want to allocate to questions. And then after that 5-minute time slot, you'll be prompted to leave the room, and the judges will judge your presentation. And there will be a panel of 3 judges listening to your presentation.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I was going to say 3 or 4 people for each judging panel, and you'll be facing them. They are a very diverse judging panel that you'll be facing. Some are from academia, some from industry, but it's pretty multidisciplinary as well. So again, these are the judging criteria. So how well your project is going to score is going to be based on how the judges are going to score these aspects of your presentation. So first of all, the technical execution, of course, what are based on the things that you submitted or things that you presented. Did your team solve a challenging technical question? And how's your model performance? Did you get a working demo? But obviously, we're not expecting everyone to, like Luca said, have finish a PhD thesis. So we want to see the potential of things. How much did you get done during the past 48 hours? And did you paint a cohesive story? It might not be a complete story, but has what you told the judge, is it a full story of something, a sub-problem? And secondly, the communication. So we all know that science communication is extremely important. Ideas can be translated into action unless the communication is good. So did your presentation convince the judge? How effective was it? How engaging was it? And how coherent was it? And how did it show good teamwork? Did it fall on one person or a couple of people? Or even if someone is a beginner in a team, was it a good environment? Did that person get a lot of help, which is supposed to happen? And how was the algorithm and method being presented? Are they clear? Are they concise? And thirdly, the clinical and community impact. What's the sort of the purpose of your project, and did your project meet that original goal? And presentation professionalism. Were you well-spoken with professional demeanor during your project? During your presentation of the project to the judges? So these are the 4 things that the judges will mainly consider during your the judging period. But obviously, we're also going to have opt-in categories that are also going to have prizes. We're going to talk about that in the next challenge review presentation as well. So don't worry if you feel like you didn't achieve as much as you wanted, as long as it's a cohesive story that you can convince people what you did, it's good. And there's other ways to win prizes. Yeah.
Kareem asks the question, how long is the presentation and is it pre-recorded? The
It is.
presentation will be 5 minutes, and you can decide how much of that you want to spend presenting and how much of that you have for questions. It's advised that you leave some room for questions, because it'll probably positively increase your judges' reviews. And in terms of can you pre-record it, you may, during the presentation, share your screen and present in any manner you want. Um, and we really want you to be there to do that though, because otherwise you can't answer questions. If for whatever reason that time simply does not work for you during the judging period, the very last resort would be you notify us and we will give the judges a recording of your presentation. However, that would not leave time for any questions from the judges, which would probably decrease your chances of winning a prize. So really try to be there at least for the questions. If the presentation part is pre-recorded, that is acceptable.
And I want to also add that even if you are to be present at the judging period, you can still optionally pre-record your presentation and submit it. It's not mandatory, but it will help your chance to get your project upvoted more for the upvoted prize. And all of this is going to stay on our DevPost website. So people are going to be able to take a look at your project down the road as well. So Kimia has a question. Where can we see teams and their topics to join? Yeah. So teams who have already formed, that has already been formed, they have already posted their team names on their website under the Hackathon page. If you haven't found the team yet, there's going to be a mingling session after the next presentation, which is a challenge review. You're going to be teams there, and once you have found a team and form an idea, fill that Google form, and things will be appearing on the website. And if you, I think you asked I guess you asked about the pitching session, right? So that'll happen in the conference room at 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That'll happen then. In the conference room, we're going to make an announcement. If you're still looking for a project or if you have an idea, come to the conference room then. But due to time zone reasons, if you cannot or not able to do that, come to the conference room at that time and still haven't had a team, we are going to help you find a team.
So the short answer is, where can you see the teams? It's at the pitching sessions. So come to those.
Yeah, but I think Kimia might have time zone reasons.
Okay, so we have one in the morning and one at night. There may also be an option for people to start their submissions on DevPost. We'll look into that.
Yep.
Okay, so briefly, our judges are a diverse panel, ranging from previous speakers from the McMedHack series and instructors from the McMedHack series to our own supervisors and mentors, all of which have a lot of experience in the different subdomains of medical imaging and deep learning. So you'll have a really diverse panel, basically someone from different expertise there to judge your project, because ultimately when you're doing medical image analysis and deep learning, you are crossing domains there, and you have to make sure that there's good communication between all of them. And you'll see that judges will have very different questions based on their background for you. So make sure you consider all aspects of your project as you prepare for the presentation.
Now, as we said before, we are going to match you with a judging panel. So we have around 16 judges right now. and they'll be in different panels, and you'll be matched into a judging panel of 3 or 4 people. One panel is probably going to have 4, and you are going to be asked questions afterwards. Yeah, that's good. So here's our social media accounts. If you have any questions, please email us at medhacks2021@gmail.com, and our website, I'm sure you've been there. And our Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Yeah, Mithesh is asking another good question about teams of 2. Do come see us after the presentation. So maybe from 12 to 2, if you come by the help desk, we can give you the official permission, but we will most likely accept this request. Yeah, but also keep an open mind, because by introducing a third person, you might get a new perspective. Okay, so just so you know what's happening next, we'll be revealing, or I guess they're already revealed, but really just introducing all of the challenges and how you should address them. That's happening in 10 minutes, 8. So now is the time where you can take a break. The doors have officially been opened. Our co-director Marie has come online and fixed the doors. So if you've been stuck before, you should be unstuck now.
Yeah, Rama said, could you please tell me which website we can check our teams? Okay, Rama, you should go to our homepage, McMedHacks, and then click on Hackathon.
If you go to mcmedhacks.com, oops, and then click on Hackathon, it's at the bottom of the Hackathon page.
So these are the teams that have already, that's already been formed. These are not teams to join, basically.
You can always join these teams as well. It's possible to edit the response.
Yeah, it's possible if they don't have enough people. Then you can just go talk to them. I guess there's no contact information there, but you can always ask us.
Okay, so
perfect. So we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess
remember to come back to this room.
Yeah, so don't leave the Zoom call or the Gather Town. Just don't close your browser, because we're gonna or
at least reopen them in 5 minutes.
Or 7. Yeah, sounds good.
All right. See you
Thank
then.
you.